It's not just Dr. Khumalo that's trending. I'll tell you what else has been doing the rounds over the weekend is the fact that Moroka Swallows, yes, Moroka Swallows want their top flight status back. Remember, as far back as May 2024, Swallows agreeing a deal with Marumo Gallants to sell their status, as it were, for around 40 million rands. Now, the latest is that Marumo Gallants still owe Swallows 13 million rands, and therefore they've gone to the High Court to demand that the High Court enforces a termination of the sale agreement. And we'll watch a close eye. If you want more context on this story, go to sabcsport.com, where we dissected this story in full, even on the radio station with Snawa as well. I'm going to move on now to the next story, which relates to Kaizer Chiefs skipper, that's Brendan Peterson. We were the first here to report that Brendan Peterson had been given an extension, or rather his option triggered to 2027 by the club. We can now reveal that Brendan Peterson is now in official talks with Kaizer Chiefs to extend a new contract altogether, new terms, and they are still in discussions at the moment. We'll keep a close watch on that. And I want to go to the legend just to hear what Dr. Khumalo thinks of this. He's got the armband, he's the skipper now, and possibly even beyond 2027, Brendan Peterson could be at Naturena.
I think that's a good thing, Mazola, excuse me, for him to get a new contract, because he's been outstanding. He's been doing very well, irrespective of the results that happened in Cairo. But overall, I mean, he went a couple of games without conceding. And probably that's the reason why we see Kaizer Chiefs third or fourth spot, if I'm not mistaken, in the log, because I thought Brendan did very, very well. So actually, he did very well so far, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you who else is doing very well and is catching their attention on the continent and even around the world. That's youngster international Langelihle Pili out at Stellies. Al Ittihad, the club that Thembinkosi Lodge has just joined from Wydad Athletic Club for big money. They were teasing Stellies with a lucrative offer, but seemingly ran out of time to try and tie down a deal. It would have been interesting to see if Stellies would have been tempted to sell. But we'll come back to the Betway Premiership now and focus on a big fixture, top of the table clash between Mamelodi Sundowns champions and log leaders Orlando Pirates. We asked Miguel Cardoso where his mindset is at after the CAF Champions League victory over MC Alger.
Do you really, guys, believe that I'm worried about the Champions League matches ahead? Believe me, put yourselves in my share here. And believe me, I'm much more worried about the Pirates match on the half of the week, the Cup match on the weekend, the one after. Maximum focus on Wednesday. A very important match, a very beautiful match to prepare, fantastic match to live, and for sure a fantastic show in terms of what is football for South Africa. That's what we are going to worry about.
Yeah, another player that's hoping to impress in that particular fixture will be newest signing at Orlando Pirates, Andre de Jong. He spoke to my colleague Velile Mnyandu earlier today, saying joining the mighty Buccaneers probably paves the way for him to be at the World Cup with his native New Zealand.
Yeah, I think it's massive. I think this was one of the reasons why the move was so big for me close to the World Cup. Obviously, coming up to World Cup selection, the All Whites have a couple of games in March back home, so would really be keen to be involved in that. And then I think anyone in the PSL is pushing, obviously, Bafana at the World Cup as well, so I think it's lifting the standard of the competition. As well as Pirates, you've got 9 players who are called up for AFCON, and a lot of other people have aspirations to make the World Cup for Bafana. So I think, yeah, there's tons of competition, and hopefully can grab that opportunity for the All Whites.
The Husk, do you think he's got a chance? The New Zealanders face Belgium, Egypt and Iran at the World Cup, and he says back at home in New Zealand, they realize now that Orlando Pirates is a big team, so they are looking at him.
Well, he certainly is playing for a bigger team. I can tell you, for a man whose international career started in 2018, he's only had 11 appearances. In those 11 appearances, 2 goals, 3 assists. So for him, it matters. He wants to get into the national team, and he's been in a hiatus of sorts, because he was last called up in 2022 before last year. 2022 to 2025 was 3 years where he didn't get called up at all. Last year in October, he played 18 minutes against Poland. So he's making his way back into the national team, and moving to a big club like Orlando Pirates certainly bolsters his chances. And it's a big year for footballers. Everyone wants to be in the USA, Mexico, and Canada come June, July.
Yeah, perfect timing. Ma'a, it's up to you now.
Dr. Khumalo. Doggy, I was going to bring the same question to you. Then I remembered, good time, man. Doggy, I've never trended as much as you did. 7 days with trend. What happened?
Hey, I must say, Guti, I was shocked, but also I was told that, you know. But after seeing everything, I think people misconstrued me or misunderstood, let me put it like that, how I answered a question that was posed to me.
Context.
Yeah, a context. So much that has been said that even I felt being disrespected because what I've said is not the true reflection of what made me to train.
Well, Doggy, I want you to pose it there, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to play why Dr. Khumalo has been on the lips of many supporters across the country, even, as he says, being disrespected. Well, here's the clip of, well, what's been trending, really. Dr. Khumalo speaking on a question he had been asked.
I would want to see any team in the PSL to challenge Sundowns without problems. Why do you have to wait for them to be crippled and then you take advantage of that? Then you are not at the best, and we don't want to say you are the best. They have internal problems. Make sure that you yourself, you fix yourself and face them when they don't have problems. Then I will like salute. But at the moment, I can't say that. You're waiting for them to be in a situation where probably there's crisis within the club, and you want to come and tell us that I've beaten Sundowns. Yeah, no. They're going through a phase. It's what we call, again, footballing problems. So I just hope and wish that they overcome that and become the Sundowns that we know, because they make this PSL game, I mean the PSL league, exciting. They produce a lot of team players for South Africa, and we can't celebrate when Sundowns are having a problem. I'm praying and hoping that they resolve their problems, because we can't afford to lose Sundowns.
Especially on the continent.
Especially on the, yes, because remember, I'll tell you one thing, that Sundowns are very important to us. When the draw was made here, World Cup, they asked the Mexican coach, what do you think about South Africa? He was talking about South Africa, but he answered by saying, I saw Sundowns playing in the Club World Cup with this and that. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the reason why I'm saying these guys, they've taken the flag, the pride of the nation to another level. Countries, teams respect South African football because of Sundowns and Pirates and all the teams that have played outside the South Africa.
What is their challenge football-wise?
I wouldn't know, because I
mean,
don't know.
That's the gist of it, right? We're going to get to the reason Doctor says, I think you misconstrued me. The context was lost, because you are asking, as Orlando Pirates fans, as Kaizer Chiefs fans, as Kukuna fans, Doggy, but why would you bring in the fact that Kaizer Chiefs, or rather Mamelodi Sundowns, are having challenges? Doggy says, context is lost. So please do pause it there, because I do have other guests that I need to attend to. We will get an answer from Dr. Khumalo as to what was meant there. Stay where you are. We played the clip of what you had said. You feel there was context lost, and you feel that it was then misconstrued and people received it wrong.
Yes, I didn't actually bring up the Sundowns issues. In fact, I didn't even know that they're having a problem with, is it the analysts?
Yeah.
The analysts. And I even went further to correct the statement.
Which was the question that was asked to you.
Yeah, the question that was asked. To say, that statement, the way by begging a corner, I need to rephrase it because I'm not talking about a particular team. I'm talking about the PSL.
Well, I think
so. It's not focused
on any
particular team. I would be failing to respect all the teams that have put the effort to make it a point to Guti. They bring the best with PSL.
So, Doctor never brought up the fact that Sundowns are ailing In fact, he wasn't even aware of the analyst being fired. The question that was asked by Veli Lemnyandi of the SABC Sport is the question that he answered to. But I can tell you that, or I can show you. Have a look.
Ask them talking of Sundowns. This is a big one for Chiefs.
Sundowns, Pirates.
They're taking nothing away from Sundowns. They are going through a lot of people.
I know.
And I'm sure you've seen it in the latest from yesterday.
No.
They suspended an analyst for allegedly sharing information online. And how important is for Chiefs and Pirates to capitalize on this Sundowns?
No, it's okay for you to pose it in that fashion.
But I would like to see, then it goes on with what you've seen. I hope we've cleared this matter up once and for all, Togi.
Yeah, well, I go further to say it's okay for you to pose the question like
In that fashion.
In that fashion. But I would like to see.
Which is what we played at the beginning.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
You see? And not mentioning any...
Not in that, do you ever mention any team?
No.
Well, I hope that's it. I hope that satisfies you. This was not to appease you. This was not to excuse your bad language. This was not to excuse how grotesque you've been in response to that. We all love the beautiful game, but that does not belong in the beautiful game.